What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. I hope everybody's having an excellent weekend. Jets Panthers preseason game number 2. And this game was for the diehards as the starters did not play. A good portion of the second string didn't play. So there's a lot of guys in the field you didn't know. But anyways, there's some good and bad no matter what you saw on the field. Starting with the offense, quarterbacks coming off a good week last week. Peasley and Martinez both struggled. I mean, the offense in general just wasn't all that good, but Peasley left some plays on the field. He could have had a touchdown pass to Kuntz. He overthrew it. Martinez had a really bad interception. They both look comfortable in the pocket. They got in and out of the huddle. They're both mobile, but coming off last week, I think everybody expected a little bit more, and you didn't see that. So it is what it is. It's third string. You have a lot of faith in, obviously, in Aaron Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor. So these guys just, could be practice squad candidates at best. And it's funny saying that after last week where everybody wanted to anoint Martinez. Running back position, Braylon Allen, obviously very physical. You see the short yardage impact he could have. He could be a goal line guy. He is just a bowling ball. Isaiah Davis, a lot of speed, which is exciting. And then I think you saw a little more out of Izzy tonight. Izzy could be auditioning himself for another team or maybe to possibly be traded, but he looked decisive on his cuts. She looked fast, looked explosive, which is a good thing. Wide receiver group, you didn't see a lot. The passing game was pretty much inept. I know Brownlee had a drop. Irv Charles, who didn't have an impact in the passing game, but is very good in special teams. I think he had a big tackle on coverage. He almost had a block punt as well. Tight end group, pretty much, again, with no passing game, you didn't see a lot. You saw a play from Ferkser, and that's the one position we start wondering a little bit because it's like after Conklin and Ruckert banged up, what else is there? Everybody's rooting for Yeboah, but, you got to actually show it in games. That's the one thing you always look at this, like, you have all these great practice reports. When it comes to the actual on game night, who's showing you what, you don't see a lot. Now, I understand it's vanilla game plan. You're not really scheming and stuff, but still, you want guys to stand out. The offensive line, I guess there was two things. Carter Warren had a hold, but they played Olu at right tackle, and I understand the need to do that. They want to have Olu be versatile. He's also a rookie, and to me, it's just like, it kind of seems like it's a little bit premature. Like, I'd rather see him become a master of his craft at left tackle. He's still learning the ropes of the NFL. He's still learning the offense. He's your insurance policy if Tyron Smith gets hurt. So why not give him as many reps as possible at that position? So I'm not criticizing the Jets. It's a first thought where it's like, you don't want this kid swimming. Like, he started off rough. He had the holding penalty. He kind of, did well later on. But to me, it's like, you just want to have him fully prepared and mentally ready if, God forbid, something goes down week 1 with Tyron Smith. Other than that, on offense, let me see. I wrote down a bunch of notes. There really was not a lot to talk about, man. It was an ugly game. Lots of field goals. Defensive side of the ball, Will McDonald had a nice spin move for a sack. And again, this is where you hear a lot of things about players having all these great camps, and then on game night you don't see it. Where I know Tack McKinley, you saw the burst off the edge a couple times, but didn't translate to anything. I think he got banged up too. Michael Clemens. You see little things, you got to hit on the quarterback. But to me, it's like if these guys are that good going against Carolina second and third string, you kind of want to see a little bit more. You didn't see it. Now, Tanzel Smart played a ton. The linebackers, 52, Guavon, really fast guy. Barnes made a lot of plays. The one thing that kind of annoyed me, and again, I understand it's preseason, but if Saleh was having the whole thing of accountability in practice, when Chaz Surratt got the personal foul, whether you like the call or not, it was still a 15-yard penalty. Do you take him out right there and be like, all right, listen, personal foul? Because keep in mind, the Jets had a penalty problem last year. And there was always, a lot of times on deep, well, it was pre-snap penalties and late hits and personal fouls and all this other stuff. That, to me, it's like, well, all right, you had a dumb penalty. Boom, take him out for play, put him back in. That didn't happen. Again, not nitpicking here, just an observation. The secondary, I think, man, Stiggers Stiggers did two things. He's good in coverage, but he's also contributing on special teams now where, as a gunner, he's like the first, second guy down on the field on returns, which is really exciting. Eccles played well. Swilling. Bernard Converse, again, did well, but I think he's banged up. But the secondary played really well. What was his name? Bartholomew? I'm sorry, number 40. He had a big hit. So that's exciting. I'm trying to think who else. Other than that, you didn't see much out of, you were hoping to see out of Leonard Taylor and Watts and all these guys. It's just, I guess my expectations were kind of high where the defense held their own and you weren't playing against a very good offense. But it's just, you wanted to see these big impact plays and all this domination and explosiveness off the edge. Didn't really see a lot of that. So hopefully next week against the Giants, you see more. Other than that, so special teams. I think it was Austin Cyber. I think it was 4-4, looked great as a backup to Zerline. Obviously, not going to keep two kickers. And then the player of the game was Codrington, who had a huge kickoff return, a huge punt return. He's shifty, he's explosive, nice cutbacks. Obviously, he's a corner, so the Jets, in terms of corners, have a ton of them. I'm not sure if he did enough to make a spot in the team just as a returner. Do you have that ability to keep a player like that with your corner room stacked? But it's explosive to watch. You watch guys back there like Isaiah Davis, who needs to learn how to fair catch. He just seems like he doesn't see what's in front of him. He catches the ball and wants to go. In the NFL, he's going to get crushed. I know the Jets want to work Corley back there, but Codrington was the player of the game easily. The most explosive, most excitement in the game too. This game was not all that exciting. So, but other than that, you're on to the Giant game. And for me, I'm really interested to see how the Jets handle this. Where you watch other teams throughout the NFL, their starters are playing. You saw Mahomes and Kelsey. You're seeing all these guys play. The Jets have not done that. So do you put the starting offensive line in for a couple series next week? I know you're worried about the health of Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses and the health of Rodgers, but at some point you need live game action. Just get your communication, work on the cadence, get on and off the field, and I understand what the Jets are saying though. They're saying that the joint practices, they're getting a tremendous amount of live reps in those joint practices to the point where they're like, you know what, we got our game action here. We don't need to do it on Saturday. So I guess we'll see what happens. The proof being the pudding come week one, because week one against the 49ers, Monday Night Football, you better come out prepared, ready to go, flying around fast and furious. You don't want to see, just all this confusion and just not in sync and everything else. You want to listen, this is your time to prepare now. So this is your choice how you handle it. It better work for you. Other than that, not, like I said, like a kind of nondescript game. You don't really look a lot with not like the first and second string guys not playing. You're just kind of overanalyzing other guys and now trying to decipher who's on the roster bubble or not. No, Hassan Reddick's still not here, so that stinks. But other than that, I probably rambled a little bit. It's a preseason game, and it's Saturday at 10:30, and I want to watch the UFC. So I'll talk to you guys later.